the strategy that we have adopted over the long term. I mean, Canadians are with us. They understand that this is complex.
Never a dull day around here. Welcome back to Moose on Loose. My name's David. Today we got Francois-Philippe Champagne on CBC trying to help Mark Carney protect the guy from his absolutely disastrous 3 months as Prime Minister here. Tim Houston's decision to ban hiking in Nova Scotia is exploding. It's becoming a major hotspot among Canadians. It's blowing up across the media. We got the Liberals spending money, a lot of money, on brainwashing Canada's youth. Let's jump into this. Starting this episode off, we got Shreya Teese back with some polling data. This is Battle River Crowfoot by-election prediction. Conservatives winning 71%, Bonnie Critchley getting 13.5%, the Liberals down to 5.5 from around 11%. You can see a lot of Bonnie Critchley's numbers would be coming from the Liberals, and it goes down and down and down from there. So this is showing an 11% drop from Damien Couric with Pierre Poilievre coming in. We'll see what the actual results bring. Got this one from the food professor saying Canadian grocery update, the biggest price jumps in the past 12 months. White rice at 48%, grapes 34%, coffee 30%, oranges 23%, squash 21%, ground beef 16%, strawberries 13%, eggs 11%, and chicken 11%. Ply managed. Is this elbows up? Is this a win? Higher prices? This Liberal government is awful. Going back just a couple of weeks, I saw No Frills that a bag of frozen green peas went up to $4.25. It used to be $1. Now, since then, it has come back down, but I stopped shopping there. I don't even know what it's selling at anymore. I go to Walmart because they're always charging $2.50, and even $2.50 is an increase of 150% from that $1 for a bag of frozen green peas. And this is not 20 years ago. This is just back 5 years ago, the world event. Moving ahead, we got this one from the Pleb. It says the word crime in Canada declined every single year under the Conservatives. Then Trudeau got elected and it went to crap. I mean, that's where it's here. Conservatives in power, Stephen Harper, Justin Trudeau in power. As he said, Liberals ruin everything. They do. I mean, this is not an exaggeration. Harper leaves office right here. Trudeau comes in and what happens? Why do Liberals vote for this? Why do they think this is okay? Got this one from Embrandt. It says new 2024-25 numbers just came out. $92 million, up $3 million. He says he hasn't broken it down yet. So this is the previous year. This is 2023 and 2022. This is government minister spending. And who's the biggest? Well, Justin Trudeau here. So this block here, you can see at the bottom, is $11.8 million. There's basically all the other ones here. Anita Anand, Chrystia Freeland is this other bigger one. We've got this one, Mark Holland. And you can see it on the side here, 1.8 million, 1.8, 1.5, 2.3 million. Just millions and millions and millions of dollars. These guys waste so much money getting nothing done. Not only getting nothing done, they do get some stuff done. What they get done are new laws and new policies that hurt our lives and makes life more unaffordable, like increasing the price of food. As he stated here, this year's numbers have gone up an extra $3 million. So this year here was about $88 million and now they're $92 million. They just keep spending more and more. We got the update on this situation with Mexico and Mark Carney. This is interesting. Mark Nixon posting this, Mexico seeks trade with Canada in the face of Trump tariffs. This is coming from CTV. This is the title they chose. Well, if we look at the one that I showed you guys yesterday, this one here, Mexico's Sheinbaum says no need for bilateral trade deal with Canada. She snubbed them. She blew them off, said, get out of here, Canada. I don't want you guys messing up my negotiations with Donald Trump. The timing too. Francois-Philippe Champagne, Anita Anand goes down to Mexico after they get completely ghosted by Donald Trump. Then they're begging Mexico. Mexico's like, get out of here. We don't want to have anything to do with you guys. And CTV's framing of this is not Mexico's Sheinbaum says no need for bilateral trade. It's Mexico seeks more trade with Canada in face of Trump tariffs. Like, what is this, guys? This isn't even conservative versus liberal media. I mean, this is global news saying this. This whole trip is just becoming a big public embarrassment. They're going down there desperate for something and they get nothing. You got a couple little meetings here or there and then it's like off you go, back to Canada. Moving ahead, we've got quite the story from the Calgary Sun. Carney government plans to spend millions propagandizing young Canadians about climate emergency. In a recent announcement, Carney government detailed more than $14.4 million in new spending for 17 projects to empower young Canadians to address climate change. That's right. The youth need to know how to open their bank accounts, open their wallets, and give the government more money. That's how we fight it, right, guys? We give them more money. That solves all the wildfires. $14.4 million is just the latest round of funding out of the planned $206 million over 5 years. The purpose of the Climate Action and Awareness Fund. This is stupid, guys. If you really wanted to fight climate change, we'd be exporting more LNG to India and China right now. This is a money grift. This is a big scam. You wouldn't be sending our money over to Uganda and Democratic Republic of Congo. You'd be buying water bombers built straight out of Alberta, and we'd be using them right now in Manitoba and on Vancouver Island. Once again, a big scam. They spend our money in other parts of the world where the money can't be audited. Then they complain that they don't have the tools to fight fires. Meanwhile, a lot of these fires are set by people. Have strict penalties, 20 years in jail for setting a forest fire, $100,000 fine, whatever it may be. But you can't ban people from being in the woods at this critical juncture when our planet is facing this C-word emergency. I can't use this word too many times or the system gets funny here. Environmental literacy for young people is essential. And it just goes on to keep saying the C-word emergency over and over and over again in this article. As the government is not spending time in trying to get a deal for Canadians, they're too busy coming up with schemes like this to scare young Canadians so they can steal more taxpayer money. Scrolling down here, what do we have? Another $400,000 goes towards an organization that will create Indigenous-led environmental literacy materials to support kindergarten to grade 12 teachers in 6 nations, yada, yada, yada. Everything about this government is Indigenous-led. How can it be Indigenous-led? The Indigenous population of this country is 5%. You can't have 5% leading 95%. That makes no sense. The Indigenous should lead their own communities, by all means. Next up, we got Francois Philippe Champagne doing an interview here from Mexico on CBC. He's asked if he regrets how they've been handling the situation with Trump.
Canada and Mexico have taken very different approaches when it comes to dealing with Donald Trump in his second term here. Mexico did not retaliate when there was tariffs introduced on Mexico. Canada did retaliate, and we know that Mexico was given an extension to negotiate. Canada was not. I'm wondering, in hindsight, when you look at how Donald Trump has reacted to that, do you think, in hindsight, it was a mistake for Canada to put retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods?
Well, I would say it's always good to stand up for Canada. That was the right strategy then. It's the right strategy today. We stand up for workers, for industry, and I think it was noticed, like you said, the position of Canada. I'm not only in touch with our Mexican friends, but I'm in touch with our G7 partners. And
what are you guys doing standing up? People are losing their jobs. You guys have done nothing but hurt this country. That's what they want. They want things to get so bad and then blame it all on Donald Trump. So it wasn't the Liberals' fault. No. The last 4 years when Trump wasn't in power, it's all Donald Trump's fault. That's their plan here because they have no way to sponge off that filth that came from Justin Trudeau and the Liberals and essentially this mostly the same team here that's following Mark Carney. They want to sponge that off and stick that to Donald Trump because they get a deal right away. All these problems still exist in Canada. They can't get away from that, but they can attach all those problems to Donald Trump. And I think a lot of Canadians aren't going to be wise enough to realize that Trump had nothing to do with them. Does he have anything to do with the stuff we're going through now with the tariffs? Yeah, of course. But he had nothing to do with the Liberals' policies that have bankrupted our country. The crime in our streets, the street fentanyl, you name it. There's problem after problem. Record numbers of people sleeping in tents. This is all the Liberals' fault.
You know, when you're in Canada, we have a unique relationship with the United States of America. So you can't really compare what's going on, but we can learn from each other. First and foremost, because Canada buys more from the United States than China, Japan, the UK, and France combined. We're the second largest investor in the United States after Japan. We have these integrated supply chain when it comes to steel, aluminum, the auto sector, forestry. So we are in a unique position. And then when you are in that unique position, you need to take time to do the right deal for Canada. There is no point of rushing. There is no point of being there and compromising when you need to explore all opportunities that we have to deal with our American colleagues.
So he just goes on to ramble and ramble and ramble. Champagne is a well-greased politician. He's not going to answer these questions truthfully.
Mark Carney, the prime minister, yesterday suggested that he's looking at ways to reduce tariffs on the United States, those retaliatory tariffs. Should Canadians expect that some of the tariffs targeting American goods are going to come off? And what can we expect around that?
Well, I think the prime minister has been expressing is that the strategy that we have adopted over the long term, because, you know, this has started not only yesterday, but this has been ongoing. What the prime minister said is that you always have to look at your strategy and say, how is that helping Canadian workers, Canadian industry, and Canadian position, I would say, at the negotiating table.
And how are you guys helping us out? It's been 3 months now, 4 months now? You guys have had months to negotiate a deal. You're awful. You're so bad at your job. If this was any other industry, you'd be fired. You'd be fired and fired and fired again. You're fired. The EU made a deal in 1 hour, and these buffoons can't make a deal. These aren't really complicated tariff deals. Normal tariff deals involve a lot of back and forth with all the minutia, whether it's skim milk with 3% milk and 2% milk and 1% milk just on the dairy, and whole milk and dried milk and canned milk. Then you go into eggs. Are they grass fed? This, that, and the other. This is not like that. Donald Trump is doing high level deals, basic, simple to the point numbers. How much money is Canada going to buy from America? Are we buying jets? Are we buying this, that, and the other military procurement? He wants a couple big numbers. He wants to show some percentages. He wants to show a win for America. This is a pretty straightforward system here. We know what they want. They want critical minerals. They want the dairy cartel kicked out of Canada. There's a way to make this work where it's fair for our dairy suppliers in Canada to equalize against the subsidies in America for their dairy. You can structure the system where it would be fair for both, throw in some military procurement, some Boeing jets, get rid of the street fennel, some critical minerals, and you have a deal. These guys don't want to get a deal for us. They are not acting in our best interest. Otherwise, they would have already got a deal. It's already been 4 months now. 3 months since the election. No deal. You're fired.
I think that's right. I mean, Canadians are with us. They understand that this is complex negotiation. They see that Canada still has a preferential treatment when it comes to trade with the...
We're getting preferential tariffs. We're the first to get 35%. You guys have failed. You're awful. You're fired.
United States. They are looking at the next steps. And I think what the Prime Minister was expressing is that this is a very much all hands on deck. Looking at...
This is not all hands on deck. Mark Carney doesn't care about getting a deal because he's getting rich off of America getting rich. Canadians have been betrayed again by the Liberals. That's what's going on. Next up, we got a video coming from Dominic LeBlanc here. Canada has what the world needs. With the One Canadian Economy Act, we're shifting from reliance to resilience. This is nonsense. They're producing these videos and not delivering anything for Canadians.
Canada has what the world needs. From coast to coast to coast, we have extraordinary innovators, talented workers, and bountiful natural resources. In challenging times, Canadians unite because we know that collectively we can give ourselves far more than any country can take away.
That's Carney's cherished line.
That's the spirit of the One Canadian Economy Act, to bring provinces and territories and Indigenous communities together to build one Canadian economy.
They're just going to talk about building stuff for the next however long they're in power and not actually do anything. Just think, in Germany, they built an LNG export facility in 6 months. It's been 3 months. That facility could be half built right now if that was in Canada.
And get major projects built faster. It's time to reunite with our ability to be bold and build big as a country. And Indigenous communities will be at the heart of this work because we are one Canada. One team, and one economy.
No, your slogan is embarrassing. What's even more embarrassing is that because Carney and the Liberals have made the world not want to do business with Canada. Sounds like Build Back Better, but worse. How many margaritas did you destroy in Mexico, Dom? The comments here are not nice to Dominic LeBlanc here. Yet you guys are unwilling to cut your 3-month holiday short to recall Parliament and repeal legislation blocking nation-building projects. There it is right there. They don't care. They're on vacation. Meanwhile, in Canadian River, we've got people from India bringing their traditions.
What?
Okay, so we can't have that music in there. Okay, guys.
What?
Richmond Hill, Canada. Yep. Okay, this is what happens when you don't integrate with Canada. What I worry about is I don't want to see our rivers looking like rivers in India, full of trash and garbage. Apparently this is in Richmond Hill near Mississauga. Moving ahead, the banning of hiking and outdoor sports fishing in Nova Scotia is really blowing up, as it should be, because this is draconian stuff. The second worst lockdown of land and property in human history. And take a look at this. So if you're caught with a stumbling juice while driving, $1,000. You pow someone, $5,000. Speeding or vandalize public property, $400 to $5,000. But if you're caught walking in the woods, $25,000. Walk your dog in the woods, $25,000. $25,000. And now we're seeing all sorts of responses to this. I like this one. This one coming from Dave Witzk. He says, unlike Nova Scotia, I cleared up the combustible material around my trees. This is what it looked like before. This is after. This is how you manage the forest. This is not rocket science. We know what to do. The Liberals are sending our money over to Uganda and African countries where it can't be audited instead of doing what we're supposed to be doing with our money, like cleaning up the forest like this. This is what it means to clean up the underbrush. This is the stuff that explodes in fires. And all it takes is a spark from an ATV or a dirt bike or a piece of glass that's sitting in the right angle with the sun, burns a little hole in the ground here, catches some leaves on fire, and poof, or some absolute buffoons that start a fire. This recently just happened on Mount 5040. There was 3 young guys in their 20s. They started a fire up there. From what I hear, someone went over there and either put out the fire or yelled at them to put out the fire. We don't need stupidity in our country. Just bring in strict laws, a steep fine, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 if you start a fire, not for hiking in the woods. That's not acceptable. People need to live their lives. You can't ban people from walking their dogs or going fishing or going hiking. What would be reasonable is saying the fire risk is too great. We don't want any camp stoves being used. No propane, no isobutane, none of it. I think that's fair. But banning people from hiking in the woods is draconian. You got to check out this post. So this guy making a complete mockery of the situation.
I'm in Petersfield Provincial Park in the most tyrannical province of Canada, which is Nova Scotia, with my fuzzy friend Axel, where we walk pretty much every single morning. And here you can see that this area is taped off because that trail is the woods, but this area is not taped off because that's not the woods. This area is taped off because that's the woods. This area is not the woods. This area is the woods. This area is not the woods. This area is the woods. This area is not the woods. This area is the woods. This area is not the woods.
You get the idea. This goes on and on and on. He just keeps making a mockery of this. Look at this. This is so funny. His dog runs over here.
Axel, come on. Come on, buddy. You're going to start a fire. Come on. That's a good boy. Come on, buddy. This area is not the woods.
Tim Houston's really setting out to destroy mental health in Nova Scotia. You can't ban people from going in the forest. What you can ban is people using anything that will start a fire. Ban campfires, ban propane stoves, ban isobutane, jet boils, any of that stuff. If it has to be that extreme, but you can't ban people from going in a forest.